Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 30th of April. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at Charting the Markets or Substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, I was talking about in my last post a couple of days ago about the possibility that we might go higher. And if we're going to do that, now's the time. So we've got the start of the month coming up. In terms of the stats for today, they are modestly bearish, but tomorrow is bullish. Next week is neutral apart from a bullish Thursday. And we will see how it goes. We've got a window here, but I think in terms of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz at the moment, Trump seems to be very happy with it staying closed. This is a real problem, and I think it's going to cause some serious problems down the line. But I don't think Trump knows that, because I think he's fired everyone. He might actually give them an honest opinion. So I think it's going to cause a big problem. I think we're currently likely to be making a big high. I mean, depending on how bad this gets, and it's already bad, I think we could be looking at a high which could last for, well, quite a while, potentially, years. So we will see how that goes. But we're looking at the moment, even if the Strait of Hormuz opened up tomorrow, we would be looking at a major market disruption. So if it stays closed even longer, God knows, but it's not going to be good. All right. Having said that, is it possible that entirely groundless enthusiasm could get us up to a level higher? Yes, and I was talking about this in my post a couple of days ago, and I'll go through that again and where we are on signals and so on. We are getting a lot of daily sell signals now, so we're really, I'm really hoping that we can do what we did just before COVID and irrationally go up to a big trend line and fail there. All right, NQ, we've almost made a new rally high on ES overnight. We've made a new one on NQ. Most of the earnings are out, and obviously FOMC is done. We had a 60-minute buy signal here. That's reached the possible near-miss target. Overnight, we've had a buy signal fix and develop on RTY. This is a little double bottom, which is trying to break up. This is a larger bull flag setup here, which I like. So I'm very much liking RTY heading back up and retesting this high, and I'm liking the same on YM. I drew this in last night. We're breaking slightly over flag resistance here. We had a buy signal there. That's reached the possible near-miss target. Obviously, the RTY was just getting started. DAX, this looks like a flag, which is testing resistance. This looks like a flag on ESTX, which is testing resistance. Nikkei, not sure what's happening on Nikkei. It might be topping out. We've got a 6-minute buy signal fixed here too, though. All right, in terms of where I'd be hoping that this would go, this is where I was looking at on the SPX chart, and I've got this level here, which is in about, I reckon, about the 73.60 area at the moment. That's the area I would love to see seen. Don't know if that's practical, but it's the only real trend line that springs off the chart. So we will see how this develops. But is it going to make it? Maybe. So in terms of the Qs, again, I've only really got one trend line that really cuts the mustard here. I've got that, though. I was talking about that being in about the, I think that might be in about the 690 area, actually. 685 to 690, certainly. So again, we've come so far. We've gone up from 655. We've gone up from 655 to 664. 565 to 664. So we've already come 100 points. I'm just talking about nearly another 20 to 25. Maybe we can do it. But the fact is, oil prices have been going up. There are disruptions here. Dia, I would love to see a retest this high here at 498, and I'd very much like to see a retest this high here at 503, which would give us a decent looking topping pattern, which we haven't got at the moment. And on IWM, this again kind of looks like a bull flag. All right, let's have a look at those on the other big picture charts. Looking at the daily chart here, obviously we are well above the daily middle band, I've got that all the way down about 6,950 area. We've got a full RSI 5 sell signal as fixed, and I think we've actually got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed as well. On the hourly chart, no current divergence. On the 15-minute chart, no current divergence. But I really would like to see this go higher just to give me a decent pattern to work with. At the moment, I haven't got one here. Normally, that would mean that the market was likely to go up. In this high news environment, that's not quite as certain. On the Qs, we've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and if we retest the high today, which seems extremely likely, then we're going to get a full size RSI 5 sell signal brewing. And we'll get a weak RSI 14 1-2. In terms of the hourly chart, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. 15-minute chart. Again, I would like to see it go higher to give me a pattern to work with. In terms of dire, we've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed. That's not going to grow up into a full sell signal because we closed yesterday below the 50 level on the RSI 5. We could, nonetheless, we could develop some negative divergence on here, but it would only be weak. But I don't really have a topping pattern here anymore, and I'd quite like to see that go higher. So we can set up a nice looking double top, and this does look like a flag from the high. In terms of the hourly chart, we've got the RSI 14 sell signal made target yesterday, and we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed on the 15-minute, and this looks like a bull flag consolidation. All right, looking at IWM. We have on the daily chart a bit of a pullback here. We're actually getting in range potentially of the back test of the daily middle band, but I think this is a bull flag, and I think we're likely to head back up to the high first. We could set up a decent RSI 14 sell signal, but an RSI 5 sell signal is now off the table because, again, this went below the 50 level. On the hourly chart, the RSI 14 sell signal made target yesterday, and we've got a beautiful 15-minute buy signal here on the RSI 14. So I'm liking the rally today, but if we're going to do it, the next few days is likely to be when we do it. After that, I think reality is going to start to bite because actually the overall outlook here is getting darker by the day. With the straightforward moves continuing to be closed. Looking at DAX, I'm wondering about a retest this high here at 24.8k. This actually isn't a bad looking head and shoulders as it is at the moment. So I don't think we really need a retest of the high, and I don't think that looks particularly likely. Nikkei going a bit higher here. RSI 5 sell signal fixed. Wondering about it turning around. We've got a decent looking double top here, but that will become lower quality as we go higher. So really, I'm thinking we might start turning here on Nikkei as the Asians are taking the brunt of the oil shortages so far. All right, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, obviously, we had an interesting day with the Fed and everything yesterday. This kind of looks like a bear flag, which is breaking down. I'm wondering if we might actually come back and retest this low, possibly make it to this double top target here. We shall see. But mainly, this has been influenced. We've not seen huge moves on most of the currency pairs, except for Euro made the buy signal target pretty much, possible near miss target. GBP USD kind of looks like a flag, but USD JPY, look at that move! Wow. Obviously, the yen's getting hammered. So, although actually, what this really means is the dollar's getting hammered against the yen because this is USD JPY, not JPY USD. So what we're seeing here is actually the yen spiking up. We're just looking at the inverse of that. That is interesting. I haven't had a look at the daily chart. I'll probably have more of an opinion on this after the weekend. Looking at USD CAD, possible RHS forming, not a lot to see on the others. ZB. Now, ZB, we had some interesting comments from the outgoing Fed chair, Powell, today. He's staying on the board because he's concerned about political interference with the Fed, which with obviously extremely good reason. And he was saying that we're unlikely to get another interest rate cut this year. I'm going to be doing a post in the next few days about what I'm thinking on bonds here. But one thing I was reading with particular interest in terms of the oil crash, I'm expecting at this point to see oil prices go over $200. We might see US gas at the pump prices in the $7, $8 area, and that's going to have a significant impact on inflation. Very significant. It's all about in terms of the price, where the price goes to, it depends how high it needs to go for price destruction to balance the revised lower supply with demand. And a lot of oil demand is fairly inelastic. So that could go up a long way. I'm wondering about 200. I'm wondering about 250. I think we're going to see all-time highs almost certainly now. In the event that happens, I've been reading that could put inflation in the US back up to 6 or 7%. That could destroy bonds. It really could. And when I'm talking about these big patterns suggesting that we might see bonds go up to 9.5%, that's the kind of scenario where that could happen. So I'm watching this with interest, but I'm bearish on bonds, no question about it. In terms of ZN, we've still got a flag. It's still broken down. We might see a bit of a rally here, but I'm expecting to see a retest this low, and then I'd be wondering about continuation lower. All right, looking at Brent, we've now reached a new crisis high on the July contract, and actually in absolute terms, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. Obviously, it's had a hell of a run the last few days, and we are pulling back a bit. I'm skeptical about that getting that far, but I'd quite like to see this pull back and equities go up. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on CL as well. On HO, no divergence. We're pulling back a bit. RBOB, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed as well. NG is, well, I have to say we're moving down to an extent where the double bottom is already not looking as good as it was. Possible IHS forming here, but at the moment it doesn't want to rally and we've not got many buyers. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. Maybe that will develop into more, but at the moment I wouldn't be surprised to see this continue down and just expand this initial falling wedge. All right, let's have a look at GC. GC, we had a buy signal here, and that has made the full target. We've broken down for a double top. That hasn't invalidated yet. As I said, all my daily sell signals are pretty much played out here, and I would like to see this become a flight to safety destination as equities go down. But at the moment, equities are up, gold's up, oil's down. So this is moving in the wrong direction for the longer term. So we will see whether it becomes a flight to safety destination again. Otherwise, a move down on equities and a move up on oil will likely be bearish. SI, wondering about an overall bear flag which is broken down here. This kind of looks like a bear flag too on palladium. This does look like a bear flag, which is broken down on platinum. So obviously the bear flag targets would be retests of the prior lows. We've got a 60-minute buy signal, which has reached a possible near miss target on platinum. Palladium, we had a buy signal, and that made the full target overnight. HG, no current divergence. We've broken down for a double top with a target in the 5.78 area, and we are not seeing that deliver at the moment, and we've got a little double bottom which, if it breaks up, would have a target in about the 6.07 area. All right, looking at the other commodities, we've got KC, which still looks like a big bear flag forming. SB, which broke up from an IHS with a target in the 1520 area. We're pulling back a bit at the moment, but I'm not seeing any particular reason to think that target won't get made. CC, this is still a perfect bear flag channel, which in due course should break down into a retest of the early March low. On CT, we saw a pullback and we're now continuing higher, I think. Lumber is trying to break down further. I was saying we might just resume the downtrend on lumber, and I think that's probably what we're looking at here. We do have a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed short term, but bigger picture, I'm leaning short. ZW, we're seeing a bit of a pullback here. The 6-minute sell signal has reached a possible near miss target. This is now broken up from the bigger picture double bottom. On corn, corn hasn't broken up on the bigger picture double bottoms either. Yet, but we've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed. We're pulling back a bit, but I'm leaning towards this going higher, and I'm leaning towards soy going higher as well. This hasn't broken up from the IHS. We would need to break over this level here to break over that, but I'm expecting that to come in due course. I think the damage has likely already been done because an awful lot of wheat and corn and soy, I think, wasn't planted because the fertilizer was too expensive, because the Strait of Hormuz was closed. All right, looking at ZL, continuing higher at the moment. Live cattle is continuing higher at the moment. Still technically got a potential level top here, but not necessarily expecting to see much from that. HE, this kind of looks like a bear flag setting up a retest this low, which I would hope, if we reach it, is the second low of a double bottom, setting up a reversal back up to these highs, but obviously might not be the case. All right. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Is the bottom in on the metals? Not necessarily, no, but it might be. But at the moment, I'm not particularly encouraged to see. Well, I think in terms of the next week or so, it may well be. I'm thinking we've got a decent chance of seeing a totally irrational move up on equities, which will give us some nice short entries and probably take it up with it. But at the moment, after that, I'm looking for a high, and if gold doesn't become a flight to safety destination again, then when equities go down, we may well see more downside in precious metals. Although on the bigger picture, we've still got a beautiful bull flag there on gold, which is very bullish, and I really like it. But we could go considerably lower to retest. Well, going back and retesting the low in that flag from here would be a sizable move, and it's still possible we might do that. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with new monthly pivots. All right, cheers.